Hello everyone, once again welcome to my YouTube channel, and we are going to continue where we left off. Material in the last we finished our material in last video, and from here we are going to just have a overall look of the scene and see if you want to improve anything, if you anything from our side before we go for the final light build final. So I will just scout the project and just have a look around everywhere and see if I want to test anything or if I want to improve anything, and then if I feel like that I should work on anything, then I will just go ahead and work on it. As of now I just see everything going very well, but one thing I want to test is this, how this light behaves once we do the light build, and the intensity of this skylight. I want to increase the intensity of this skylight, and then I want to see how this light behaves after the light bake. So, and after that, if that goes very well, then I think we can go for the final build or light build, and I will show you the settings of the final light build. And after the material has been finished, what I do is I just give a white material on the material that are non-white or some have some strong color in it, like this wood has a yellow color and this floor has some red and yellow mix. So what I generally do is before after the light after I have given the material, what I generally do is I just go inside this material. I will click open this, and then I will add a constant 3 vector, and then I will make it pure white and then apply it. So now this is white, and then I will go inside this and I will do that same here. I'll just make it white, and I will just go on this material, and I will also make this also white, and I will go and I should go on this, and then I will make this also white, and we can also make this also white. So I will go ahead, make it white. I'm making this white before I am going to build light, only because I want the lights to be distributed or emitted, or that GI phenomenon to be as good as possible, because white will not absorb lots of light, and it will not the color bleeding will not be there. So if we change them the big objects material and like this, so it's almost white here, and after we do the light bake we can go ahead and then change that. So after I applied white on all those objects, I will go in Skylight, and I will just go ahead and I will just go ahead and make a camera here like this, and I will press Ctrl 2, and I want to make this skylight coming from here a bit more bluish and in more intensity, with intensity, so that it feels good, because it's too much of yellow right now inside the scene, and I want to see this behavior or how it's behaving after we light build. So I will just go ahead and increase the intensity of a skylight, maybe to 10, and then I will just go ahead and make sure it's on medium. It's medium, and then world setting, everything is 0.6 and everything is perfect. So just go ahead and I will build the light and wait for the light to be built or baked. and I will close these panels in the meantime, and I will take a snapshot of this viewport so that I can compare them after that light build. So I have taken a snapshot of it, and I will wait for the light to be completed. So as you can see, the light has been baked now, or light build is completed. I will wait for the light to be getting encoded, and now as I can see that there's too much of yellow here, so I will go ahead and then just decrease this post process volume a bit, maybe 0.5, and I will see, and I will just go ahead and see this, and I think it's quite nice, and I think it's a bit low in intensity, so I will go ahead and then make the intensity from 8 to 12. First thing is completed, and then I will go ahead and then into, I will just make sure what I want to do. I think it's absolutely okay. Some noise, blue and then yellow. I think it will look very nice in the final quality, and I think we can decrease the intensity of a skylight a bit, and we can make it maybe 8 and will be perfect. And let's make this glow from 12 to 14 and then apply. And then I will once again go for the light build. So I will go ahead and light build again and wait and see how it goes. So as you can see that the light build has again completed, and I increased this multiply intensity to 14 from 8 in the last render, and I think it's looking quite awesome or nice, and I like the amount of intensity it has. And here also the blue tint is very nice, and then I will just optimize the UV channel on 2 on this object. So I'll go ahead and then optimize it, because I was seeing it not behaving properly. And then again on this also. It's looking quite decent now. So now I'm quite happy with the result, and what we'll do is we'll once again go ahead and scout the scene as well as possible to figure out any issue we have that should be corrected before final light build. So I'm just going on and then scouting and seeing that anything could be worked on. So I think we have left one material here. So I'm just going on and then scouting. I think we should work on the metal of this screen, and to work on the metal on this screen, what we will do is we'll just go ahead and use multiply, and then I will use this on a emissive color, I think will be good to go from there. Yes, now it's quite bright, and I think this texture also we should make it quite bright. It's a bit dark, so just keep on improving and optimizing materials as much as possible. So now we can see it very clearly. Now, just scout, and I think we haven't given any reflection and glossiness or roughness and specularity on this chair, so we should go ahead and do that. We'll give a specular and then roughness and value 0.25. And as you can see, I am not using any portal here on the on this window and on this window, because in few of the recent project I was doing, I have started hitting the portal light portal, because it increases the render time without any significant increase in quality. If you think it increases, it's up to you, you are free to think like that, but what I think, I am just telling you, it the amount of render time it increases and the amount of quality it increases, I think the amount of less time we get in rendering is better than the amount of quality, or the amount of quality we will be getting because of using portal. So my PC is not extraordinary strong, and if every time I try to use portal inside my scene gets its rendering time is so much time, so big, so that I have started hating portals, and I don't use the portal anymore. I use because I get a very nice and decent quality even without using portal. And if I'm not using portal inside my project, it gets rendered very fast in my PC with the settings I will show you on the project. So just so if you are wondering why I'm not talking about portal, it's very easy, just to go ahead and apply here portal, but I don't think it's worth it. And if you have extraordinary strong PC, then you will of course you can go for it, and it will increase a quite bit quality, but on a slower PC or a weaker PC, I will suggest don't use portal, because all the settings which I will show, it will be amazing and the scene will look awesome, very nice, that's be sure about it. So you don't go for portal if you don't have a strong PC, and I really hope that you understand what I mean. So as of now, I have scouted the whole project and from every angle, and I don't see any problem with that. So once I'm satisfied that there is no problem according to me as of now, and I want to go for the final light build, the first thing I do is I just go on and increase the resolution of the object. So I will go inside maybe 0.6 this what you call lighting only, and I will go inside post process, and I will temporarily increase the exposure to 2, and then I will go ahead and I will increase the resolution of every object. So I will go here and then I will increase all the roof and wall will be of 512. So I will make it 512, then I will make this 512, I will make this 512, and the roof, floor, I will make it 1024, because only floor I used to make 1024 and rest everything I make 512, because as you remember I have breaked everything in smaller pieces, and since I used lots of time to break things in smaller pieces, I should be rewarded for that, doing extra effort and this is the reward that I only have to give 256 resolution on my project on every object. And then my scene can render very fast. So rendering the final scene as fast as possible is very much crucial for me, because in the last stage, if the file gets rendered very fast, and I can be in a state where I can change things very easily and render it again. It's very nice for me according to my working nature. That means it should not take lots of time to render, because if in the last section when you are going to get paid for the final delivery you have done, and clients ask something extraordinary and you cannot do that because of the rendering time, it's a very step back for me, so I don't like that. So I just keep do extra effort in the beginning, and so that I can keep the file in a state where if I need to render something very quickly, then I can, then my render time is already very slow, my render time is already very low, so I can render it again if I want, again and again if I want. And I hope you understand what I mean, and if you don't, I am really sorry. So I will just increase the resolution from just 512 and 256, like that only. I will increase to 512, because I made this 512 and I will make this 256, because this will receive some contact shadow, but this will not receive any contact shadow. So if any object which is not going to receive any contact shadow, then there is no benefit of giving their resolution high. So if any object that is not going to have receive contact shadow, just give them maybe 128 or something like this, or 256. So I will make it 128. I'm going on and increasing the resolution, as you can see, and I will make 256. I will give 256 on all the sofa objects. So I'll go ahead, give 256, and then I will 256, and then on all the legs I will give 256. So as you can see, I am going on increasing the resolution as required. So I have increased the resolution of I will increase to 256, and I will make it I think it's already 256, and I think we can make it 512, and then we can make it 256, and make sure we are in lighting mode before we are increasing the resolution, because in lighting mode we can very easily see how much amount we need to increase the resolution. It's bit easier for me to figure out, so I always increase the resolution in lighting mode. So as you can see, I have increased the resolution of almost every object here, and we will just carefully see if any panel needs to increase their resolution. Like just I'm going on and then carefully watching, and I think this panel should be given 256 and rest should everything is fine. And then we will go ahead and then give 256 on the skirting, 256, and then give this also 256, and then this also, it's already 256, so not a big deal. $512 as it's a wall, and then 256, and then 512 since it's a wall, and then 512 since it's a roof, then again wall 512, and then make it 256, hide it for a while, and then give 256 here, 256, and then 256, and then since this is a roof we will give it 512, and then we will give this as a 256. I don't know how it's left behind, so here we'll go ahead and then select all the objects. So 512, this will be 256, so 512, and then 512, and then rest 256. I'm just going on and increasing the light mask resolution for the final light build, and I hope you guys are getting what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and increase this also to 56, and then just give 256 because 256 is a very nice very good amount of light map resolution, and things get rendered very easily on this 256 setting. So if you have to give hundreds and hundreds of object 256, it's not a big deal for Unreal Engine. But if you give 1k or 2k even on 10 objects or maybe 20 objects, it's a big deal for Unreal Engine, and Unreal Engine will start suffering from fever or anything you can understand. So it's a very big issue for Unreal Engine if you give bigger resolution. So as you can remember, I just went over and did extra effort to break the objects in as simpler forms and chunks as possible, and all those extra efforts will be counted here, because even if I go and give lots of object this resolution of 256 and all those things, the project will be rendered very fast easily on any PC. Even if your PC is not so strong, your project will get rendered very fast. So that effort you made while breaking all the objects will be counted here, and that also helps in getting photorealistic result, so that effort will not be wasted. And as I can see, almost all the objects we have increased the resolution. To 56, and then to 56. So now go ahead and scout the whole scene and see if you have anything left to be increased in the resolution. Then just go ahead, find it, and then increase the resolution. So as I can see, almost everything we have given the appropriate resolution. So I'll go ahead in full screen and scout the whole project, every object said, so that nothing has been left over. So I think we can increase the resolution of these lights. We will increase them to 256, and again we'll go inside the full screen, and again I saw one more object that was left over, and then again full screen, so that we cannot, no object are left over. Just make sure everything is perfectly, resolution has been provided. This object will be in metal color, so if you don't increase the resolution, it will not be a big deal, and if you increase, it's not a bad thing also. So just do whatever you feel like. I think we can increase the resolution of these whole objects. It will be even better. So let's increase the resolution of all these objects to 256, and now we will go to 56. So as you can see, we have increased the resolution of every object inside the project, and we will go for the final light mask setting. Before that, once again I'm cross checking if anything is left over. So as I can see, everything looks perfect and we are almost ready to go for the final light mask setting. So after we are done with this whole light mask increase thing or process, we'll go inside our we'll just go inside our explorer, and then we will go inside config, and this is the place where your Unreal Engine has been installed, and that is Epic Games program files. Wherever your engine is installed, that means Unreal Engine is installed, go to that place, that is program files. I have installed it on E drive, program files, Epic Games, Unreal Engine 4.19, engine, and then config. And then config there is a file, its named is baselightmask.ini. Open it, and in base lightmask just go inside, just scroll through and go to this dev option static shadows. And once you are in dev options static shadow, increase the num shadow rays from 8 to 32 and increase num penumbra shadow rays to 8 to 32. And then in dev option importance tracing, increase num hemisphere sample from 16 to 128. And in this dev options photon mapping, increase this num irradiance calculation photons from 400, this was the default 400, from 400 to 2048, and the default. And apart from these settings, you have to just not change anything at all for the highest possible quality. Trust me, it will be not the awesomest in this world, but the quality will be very quality will be achieving will be very fine, very nice, and very good in terms of realism and in contact shadow, all those things. So make sure num shadow rays in dev option static shadow are 32, num penumbra shadows are from 32, and the num hemisphere sample are 128 in dev option importance tracing. And then num irradiance calculation photons, make it from 400 to 2048, and rest assured leave anything. And I haven't changed anything at all in this other than this 4 set option. So save all. And if you are wondering what is this, this is Notepad plus application, which is very awesome application, and it's free. So I suggest just download Notepad plus and install to open every text file. It's very awesome application and free, and you can see this in quotes line in this application. So just download Notepad and open this base light mask in Notepad plus and change all these settings before we are going for the final light build. So I will close this. So before final quality, what I did is I increased the resolution of all the objects accordingly. What I thought that almost 256 to 512, and I only made floor from floor resolution to 1024. And then I went inside the light mask and changed those 4 settings which I showed just now. And after that we will go inside this build setting and then light build quality, and make sure it's build on its on medium setting, and then we will go inside world setting, and in world setting we will go in a static lighting quality and make it 0.25, and in num indirect lighting quality we will make it 4. So you can make it 4, you can make it 6, you can make it 8, you can make it 10, whatever you like. But the way I work and the way I have optimized and the way I optimized all the scenes, objects, and how do I light and all those optimization process and distribution of UV channel light map on UV channel 2 and all those things, and with light mask setting which I just showed you, and the starting lighting quality 0.25, in combination of everything, if you have done a exactly same as I have shown and told you in my tutorials, then you don't need more than 4. Trust me, it will be very amazing quality and you don't need more than 4. Obviously you can go ahead and just make it 10 and then render. It's up to you. If your PC is very strong, you can go ahead and do that, it will be even better. But the way I have optimized and worked the whole scene along the from scratch to finish till date, you just don't need to increase it more than 4, and the benefit of it will be the file will be rendered very fast and the quality will be decent and very good, and there will be no blotchiness and all those things. So just make it in that lighting quality 4 and make sure this compressed light mask is off. You see, it should not be compressed light mask should be off. Just make sure that it's off, and then just make sure that everything is set. And the main setting for the final build is static lighting quality should be set to 0.25, and then indirect lighting quality set to be 4, and this compressed light mask setting should be off if you have not switched it off. And then build setting should be on medium, and you have increased all the resolution of the objects. And then inside your base light mask, make sure you have changed this to this num shadows to 32, num penumbra shadow to 32, num hemisphere to 128, and irradiance cache to photon to 2048. And after that, just go ahead, and if you can access this developer option, you can just go here in settings, and then in this developer option, show developer menu, make it from false to true. So if you can make it from, it will by default it will be false, make it true, and after you have made it true, you can go inside developer option and you can increase the processor count. So my processor is 12 and by default it was 10 here to render the scene. So whenever it's rendering a scene, it will be 12. So before if it's so by default the processor count will be less, two processor less than your actual one. So because it was my 12, it was 10. If there's 20 processor in total in your PC, it will be 18. So you don't want to waste that 2 extra core while you are rendering, because while it's rendering, you please don't do anything and let the processor to use for the whole potential. Let the processor to use and build the scene. So make it the exact same amount where you have the maximum width. If it's 12, make it 12. If you have 20 here, make it 20. If you have 48 here, make it 48 here, and then go inside here. And before this hitting this build quality, just try to make sure that you have closed all the applications so that you can render the file as fast as possible. So I will just close this max file. I will click yes, and then I will close this internet Chrome, and then I will just close everything. Just try to close everything possible, and then I will close this Steam, and I will close this Snagit, and I will close this Photoshop, and I am waiting for this max to be getting closed. So as you can see, everything has been closed, and then we will close this also, and we will go for the final build, and I will meet you all on the other side of the light build. So let's see how it looks after the final light build, and I have shown you all the settings and what should be done before the final light build. So after the final light build has been completed, we'll further tweak the materials if needed. If we will just scout the whole scene and we will see if any of the objects and although anything, any material can be improved, or the values of reflection and roughness and grossiness, all those things can be improved. We will see them, and we will optimize or improve them if we feel like. So and lot of work has still to be done after the final light build, and I will show you all step by step in tutorials, so don't worry. So let's go. I will meet you on the other side of the light build with the final quality, and we'll proceed from there. So by the time, let's go for it.